All right, as you guys gather food and things, I'm going to do a brief presentation. This is Physician Wealth Advisors, just before your main headline speaker. So as you come in, hopefully many of you have had some experience with us. I work with Physician Wealth Advisors. We've had a long history with Ogden Surgical Medical Society, and I've appreciated that partnership over the last number of years. We're also owned by the Utah Medical Association, so hopefully everyone's a member of the Utah Medical Association, and I hope over the next 15 minutes or so to give you guys some motivation to want to come see us. So we'll flip to the next page here. Oops. This is an old saying. Everyone talks about retirement, but very few people do anything about it. So hopefully we can hone in on what we need to do for retirement over the next couple minutes. So our firm consists of a number of advisors. We have 15 professionals, about 4 advanced degrees, 6 certified financial planners, and 1 certified investment management analyst. As I mentioned, PWA Physician Wealth Advisors is owned by the Utah Medical Association. So a few years ago, we switched our names from UMA Financial Services to Physician Wealth Advisors due to a trademark issue. So the new name is Physician Wealth Advisors, but we are a Utah Medical Association company. And in my opinion, one of the biggest benefits of being a UMA member is your access to Physician Wealth Advisors. So we are specialized in asset management for financial planning for physicians. I mentioned some of these other things. We are fiduciaries. So as we were sitting out there in the hallway, someone yesterday asked about kind of the difference between a fiduciary and a broker. So we do what's in your best interest as financial advisors. And that's a little bit different than a broker's requirement of doing what is suitable for you. So as a fiduciary, as you seek out investment advice, you should be looking for someone that is a fiduciary. We have worked with, in 2024, we had 1,167 one-on-one financial planning meetings for members of the Utah Medical Association. There's 1,433 households with a financial plan, and it is interesting as we talk to physicians and specialize with physicians, most of your goals revolve around healthcare, travel, vehicles, education, donations, but it's very important as you determine your investment strategy that you focus on your financial goals. In Utah, we actually, this is a study done by SoFi in 2021, and it ranked the retirement savings by state. And you can see there at the bottom, Utah ranked 51 when you include Washington, D.C., so our average savings balance is just over $300,000 for retirement. So we have our work cut out for us, and we want to make sure you guys are prepared for retirement by saving enough. You can make a lot of income, but you can't really convert that into wealth unless you increase your savings rate. So savings rate is extremely important, and we want to focus on the things that we can control, like savings. This is a chart put together by JP Morgan, or data from JP Morgan. This first column, many physicians, as they come out of training, we talk to them about how much should you be saving. And so let's assume you're a 35-year-old that just finished your training, and let's say you're making $250,000. You should be saving about 26% of your pay. So 26% savings rate is what you should be targeting to be able to attain a retirement of 30 years at age 65. That would be a good goal as you exit your residency training and begin your practice. So if you want to take a picture of this, it's interesting to do kind of a self-checkup to see how well you're doing on your savings. Another way to look at this is how many multiples of my income should I have saved at different intervals of time? Again, another self-check. You can just take a snip of this picture and see how you score. You know, if you're 55 and you're accustomed to making $250,000 a year, your savings rate should be about 8.7 times your annual income. So super valuable, quick check to see if you're healthy financially or not. And what things you need to be doing. You need to focus on saving if you're well under your mark. This is put together by the AMA Insurance Organization. And this is an interesting slide that ranks physicians by wealth categories and percentages. So again, different tiers. You can take pictures of this if you'd like. The next slide probably be more interesting for retirees. So if you're in that middle one, if you're 65 to 69, 59% of physicians have about $1 to $5 million saved. And so again, this is just a way for you to check. That is a wide range, but a way for you to check and see if you're on track or not. I wanted to run through a couple case studies. In the past, we've done a lot of data. And in this case, I just wanted to run through a couple case studies that may be helpful for you to analyze, like, is this similar to me? So Abby is 63. She's an internal medicine specialty. She works full-time with the hospital system. She has a 401k, 403b, 457, a pension, an HSA. And she recently was widowed, has 3 kids. And is thinking about what, at this stage of my life, what should I be thinking about? Some of the things you think about as you enter retirement are, one, do I have enough money? I'm 63, I want to retire at 65. Well, have I done what we just reviewed on the previous slides and saved enough money? Or am I behind the 8 ball and do I need to work a little longer? These are things that Physician Wealth Advisors can help you calculate as an exclusive UMA member benefit. You can come in and get a financial checkup. We could determine if you're on track or if you need some extra years of work, or maybe adjust your expected retirement spending. So have I saved enough is usually what's top of mind for most people approaching retirement. The next couple items here, a pension. If you're employed and, like, let's say you work for IHC, you may have a pension available to you. Well, often as you get close to retirement, you want to evaluate the options with a pension. Do I want to take a lump sum rollover, or do I want to take the lifetime income? Those are things that Abby would be considering in this case. Also, Social Security, insurance, and kind of Medicare. What am I going to do with my 401k? How should that balance be invested? So there's a lot of things the retiree or near retirement is going to want to consider before they actually make the decision to retire. This is a big one as you approach Social Security age. So currently in the political dialogue, there's a lot about Social Security. And I could tell you, because I listened to those boring Saturday financial shows on KSL, come get your Social Security calculation or miss out on hundreds of thousands of dollars. You've heard all these, I'm sure. A few years ago, Social Security changed and no longer has file and suspend or restricted application. So the Social Security calculation is a lot easier. Again, as a benefit of being a member of the UMA, we can run through a Social Security analysis for you and determine when you should claim your Social Security and the financial impact of claiming. It comes really down to longevity at this point. The longer you live, the better it is to have delayed. You get an 8% increase for every year you wait to claim your Social Security. Awesome. Another thing that retirees are typically considering is Roth conversions. You've heard about these a lot as you've gone through your practice, but once your income stops, considering a Roth conversion could be a great strategy for physicians as your income is reduced. It's going to be based off of income brackets. So you don't just want to convert the entire amount in your traditional IRA, but you want to strategically convert appropriate amounts to not push yourself into high levels of tax. Again, this is something we can help you with. Just a couple more minutes here. So another case study, just an example of an ENT physician. This Peter's a little younger. He's 52. He makes about $405,000. He's in a smaller practice, so just has a 401k. No 403b, no pension, no other options. And he's wondering, am I paying too much in tax? Or, I feel like I'm sending a lot of money of my income to tax. So that's one thing we want to talk about briefly is tax considerations. Am I saving enough money? And other considerations as a family. So usually physicians want to save as much tax as possible, which is the logical solution, right? We reduce taxable income. I want to transfer income into long-term wealth. I want tax deferral. I want compounding growth. This little graphic is from Behavior Gap, the taxes you pay and the taxes you should have paid, and then the lack of planning. So when you put some planning around your tax strategy, it can be valuable for you in the long run. This is an example. On top is a single filer. On the bottom is a joint filer. We're assuming $350,000 of income. Because we have people here from various states, I don't have a state tax bracket, but assuming a 35% tax filing bracket, marginal bracket for a single filer, 24 for a joint filer. And you can see the tax benefit on the right-hand side, the hypothetical current year tax savings. If you take advantage of your employee deferral, $23,500, and if you're over 50, the catch-up, and the profit sharing of $46,500, and then if you add what's called a defined benefit cash balance plan, that gives you another option to save even more towards retirement. So you can work yourself down that chart, and a single filer could be saving $33,000 a year just by strategically using the accounts available to their practice. So super important to not lack in planning and to make sure you give tax a consideration, and we're here to help you with that as well. I'm kind of knocking on the door of my time here. I want to make sure I have enough time to transition to the next speaker. So let's go through these last two slides super fast. So a traditional IRA, some of you may not know, it's designed for a pre-tax deduction. But many physicians will do what's called a backdoor to Roth IRA, which means you make a pre-tax contribution, and then you can convert that to a Roth IRA. The ability to contribute directly to a traditional IRA is limited by income and access to a retirement plan. So if you have a 401k at work and you're a physician, likely you can't, unless you're working just a few shifts a month or something, you're likely not able to fund a pre-tax traditional IRA, and you would be doing what we call a backdoor to Roth IRA. A Roth IRA grows tax-free, so it's not tax-deferred, but all the growth compounds tax-free for your benefit. And these are the 2025 limits. Additionally, the deduction or the contributions directly to a Roth are limited by income. And again, as physicians, generally you make in excess of the allowable income. So you're usually doing a backdoor to Roth IRA. So here's our contact information. Again, please take advantage of what we consider your best UMA benefit, or one of the best UMA benefits you have. If you're not a member, you can sign up to be a member. We also are here to motivate and encourage people to become members of the UMA, and so that you can access our services. So again, thank you for the partnership with Ogden Surgical. We appreciate being here with you, and feel free to take a snip of that picture and schedule an appointment with us.